Welcome back to the 3F Life, Faith, Family, Fitness. In this video, I want to get into how to go about taking control of your time and the best practices of doing so. With my life, about a year ago, I started to focus on becoming more productive in everything that I do, especially on my day off. Because before this, what I would do is you finally get to, so I'm off on Thursdays and Sundays. I would finally get to like Wednesday, and it's like I've been really disciplined. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm gonna stay up till 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. watching TV or playing video games, and then I'll sleep in on Thursday, and then I can kind of just veg and relax on Thursday. And this was just killing so much of my time to be productive. You're basically getting rid of 2 days out of the week. That's a big percentage of your week. And when it comes to like wanting to pursue being successful in business and in life, you doing this is just, it's pulling you down. And these people that are successful and are working very hard, they are not doing this. They're working every single day, regardless. That, you even have the people that have that 9 to 5 job and then they work 5 to 10. And so here we are just sitting there doing nothing on these days. And it's draining who we can become, and we are so far behind these people. And Kobe Bryant had a big quote when he was playing, because he was talking about like how he would wake up at 4 a.m., get a workout in the morning, workout midday, workout in the afternoon. So he's like, I'm working out, 1-2 more times than these other players. So whether, maybe right now we're on the same level, but where are we going to be at in 5 years? And I think this is what we need to look towards, is the long-term future on where we're going to be at. So some things that I've done to kind of control the time. One super helpful tool that you can use, it's free, is using a Google Calendar. All you need to do is to have a Google email account, and using this Google Calendar. I don't have an Android, so I don't know if it works in the same sense, but I'll give you how it works on an iPhone. You can basically set the exact schedule that you want to go by for the entire day, and then you'll get these 30-minute notifications ahead of time. Like, this is, it's about time to go to bed in 30 minutes, it's time to stretch, it's time to eat, and I use this with literally everything. I have my entire day mapped out so that there's no downtime to be non-productive. I have, and even when it comes to being a father, I've got the time set aside for my kids. This 2-hour window, I'm going to play with my kids. This is what we're going to do. On this day, we're going to do this activity. This is the time we're going to read our Bible, our devotional with the kids version. I do mine at a different time. So that it helps you become uber productive. And this is just something that like a lot of people aren't doing. And if we want to get ahead in life, these are tasks that we need to do. So using the Google Calendar, and then going through and scheduling every hour of your day. So one thing that I utilize, it's very helpful, and I won't use it with every single thing, because sometimes if like you're going on a date and you send somebody a calendar invite, they're like, what the heck? This is like, but like you want to make it be known that your time is valuable, because like your time is money. And most of us have jobs where we're getting a dollar amount for our time. And so one thing that I've heard a lot of people talk about is like, let's say your kid wants this new toy, and what you're thinking is, how many hours of my life do I need to work to get this? And we want to get past the point of trading our hours for money. We want to get to a point where we're just making money on autopilot, essentially, and doing things that we love to do. But there's always still going to be a part of that. Even more successful people, there's still, like, you could even break down they were talking about like this new contract that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be. I think he's due for this new contract like next year or something. And they're saying this guy's going to be borderline getting $1 million for every game that he plays. So that's still breaking down, like, maybe not in the same hourly sense that we break it down for ourselves, but you can kind of break that down for just about everybody, like what your time is worth. So we need to care about our time. So don't be the guy that has like this open schedule, like, oh yeah, I can go out this night, or this night. It's like, no, I'm free this night, this time. And if that don't work, it don't work. We'll move on and so forth. But yeah, the calendar invites, what I'll do is if I'm spending time with a family member or got a meeting with a friend, I'm going to the gym, I'll send a calendar invite. They get it in their email, they pop it into their calendar. We both stay productive. We know we got an hour and a half to get this lift in, and we're going to be productive in that time. We're not going to be messing around, joking the whole time. We know we got this amount of time to finish our lifts, because then we got to go on to the next task. So that's something that I've been using. I think it's very crucial. The next thing that's I just think is very important is being able to eliminate this downtime that we have. Because when you don't have the set schedule of what you need to accomplish for your day, and this can even go into because the old-fashioned way to do this is and I've had those daily journals where you write down, they have the time slots. You go in there and you write I'm waking up at this time, I'm doing this at this time, and so forth. This is just a modern version of that, to where you get notifications and constant reminders where you're not have to looking at a piece of paper all day. But you could do that too, because a lot of us have this to-do list, and I think the to-do list is very crucial and very important. But if we put it into a calendar, it's easier to track. But this helps us eliminate that downtime where we're scrolling on our phone, we're watching TV, we're playing video games, because it's we don't have time for those things. Those things are not productive. Those things are not moving us forward in our lives. And for me, I will play a video game with my son here and there. He's 9 years old, so I think that some of those things, as your kids grow, there's certain things that you go throw the ball with your kid, you play basketball with him. Once he gets a little older, maybe get him into the gym and you lift weights with him. So I do think that those things are crucial, things that we do as fathers to kind of build those relationships with our children. So I'm not saying completely never do these things, but if this is just a matter of you playing Call of Duty late at night till 2 a.m. with your friends or whatever, that is absolutely not productive, and that's not something you should do consistently. Once in a blue moon, sure, it's kind of the same thing with going out and having a drink with your friends or something like that. It's not something you want to actively do a lot, but even at that, you could put that in your calendar, so at least hey, I'm going to stop doing this at 12 or at 10 or whatever, but I'll give myself a little bit of free time, because there is something to doing things that you do enjoy, and if that's what it is, then by all means, you do that. I don't think that's productive, and it's not something that I think that we should do as men. I think it's ultimately wasting our lives. We start playing video games at a young age and watching TV at a young age, and then throughout our life, if you add all the time that we did doing those things and you put it into something else, like a hobby or building a business, just imagine those hundreds of hours that we could put into something more productive. And so that's why I'm not a firm believer of doing those things, but to each their own. And then the other thing, the way I did this is I'll go through on a weekly basis. On Sundays, I'll go through, these are the things that I did good this week. These are the things I needed to improve on. And then when I'm going through my schedule, I'm putting in more of those reminders on things that I need to improve on, because it's so difficult to go through and just change. You go from being lazy and doing nothing to changing every hour of your day. You're not going to do it. It's just plain and simple. You don't have the discipline yet to go through and change your entire life. So I would key in on 2 to 3 tasks and make those your priority. So let's say you work 8 hours, you sleep 8 hours, and you still have a block of 8 hours. Let's say you do 2 to 3 tasks, 2 to 3 hours, hit the gym, read, eat right, or whatever that other task may be, pray, read the Bible, and then you still have that block of time where you can kind of mess around and do those things while you're building the discipline in the other aspects. And then once you start building the discipline with those things, then you can add more things into it. That's the way I've been able to do this, to where it didn't feel overwhelming all at once, where I just changed every aspect of my life on day one. That took time before I was able to get to that point. So yeah, key in on those 2 to 3 crucial tasks for yourself, and don't feel like you need to just uproot your entire schedule. So I'll go through a little bit of my daily schedule, and I'll put it on here. So every day I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm reading my Bible first thing in the morning. and then I'll read a daily devotional, and then from that I'll write about a page, a journal. And this is what I'll write is like where I see myself. So these are my goals, and I'll go through my goals with Christ, my goals with fitness, my goals with relationships, my goals with business, and I'll write down as if that's already there. So I'll write down, I'm in this type of shape that I want to be in. I'll write down, I'm making this kind of money that I want to have. This is where I want to be with YouTube, as if it's already there. And I'll do that every single day. And then 4:30, I do an hour and a half of Spanish lessons. I do these classes with a fluent speaker over Zoom on a program called Baselang. So I'm literally talking in Spanish for an hour and a half, learning. And that's one of those things. Like, we'll talk more about building goals, but these things are, and even the gym especially, it's like we build over time, and you're not going to be where you want to be overnight. It's going to take consistent effort over a long period of time. And then in the long run, the hours will pay off. Like, you won't see results in a month or 2 months, or sometimes even 6 months. Sometimes it'll take a year or 2 years. But then all of a sudden it'll be like, dang, you're fluent in Spanish, or you're jacked, you're in incredible shape, because you put in that discipline and because you set that time. And then after that, my kids will be waking up. I'll cook breakfast, prep for the day, and then I'll take them. I'll go to work for my 8 hours. I get off of work, go straight to the gym, and then from the gym, I'll come home, and then we just start to unwind, get the kids ready for bed, eat dinner, brush their teeth, read their daily devotionals, the Bible. We'll do all these things. I'll pray with them, and then they go to bed, and then I'll do my nightly routine, my skincare, my stretching, making sure I finish drinking my water, all these things, and then I'll go to bed at 8:30. So that's literally how every day goes, and then I'll game plan like what I'm doing at work. And then when it comes to my day off, I'll add different things into activities to do with my kids, to spend that bonding time with them, meal prepping my meals for the week so that I have my lunches, my dinners prepared. So you just fill it all out. Church on Sundays, I put all of this into the schedule. Even my drive time, like I know it's going to take me 30 minutes to go pick my kids up and then get home, or then get to the gym. So I'll put that in there. So every hour is accounted for. And I think that's, when it comes to becoming productive and becoming successful in life, I think these things are crucial, because we want to take those steps forward. We want to be able to pursue our goals. But if we don't have a game plan, if you don't have a schedule for how you're doing this to build a discipline, then you're walking into this blindly. And for years of my life, I would go in and, I want to learn Spanish, or I want to get in shape. And then I would have just zero game plan to do it. I'd pick up like Duolingo, spend 5 minutes on it, and then I'd watch TV. Or I'd work out for a week, and then I'd go back to the old habits, because I wasn't building the discipline that it requires to become successful. And so that's how I've been able to completely change my life. And like I've said in other videos, I'm not where I want to be right now. I'm not the perfect example. Obviously, there's so many people that are much more successful. But I do know that this is something that takes a long time. It's a journey, it's a process. And in the end, the results will pay for themselves, because I've seen that. I've seen you go to the gym. I started out in pushing 230. I was about 230 pounds. I've seen, like, I'm strict on my diet. I'm strict on hitting the gym every day. And now I'm 175. And I'm not where I want to be, but I'm down X amount of pounds. I've lost a ton of weight. I look completely different. I don't even recognize myself when I look in the mirror. But those first 2-3 months, it was just like, I don't see any difference. I look the same. And that can be discouraging, but you just got to know, like, in the long run, this is going to change my life. Because in a year from now, 2 years from now, while these other people are sleeping until 10, while these other people are staying up till 2 in the morning playing video games, I'm working on myself. And 5 years from now, 2 years from now, I'm going to be way ahead of where my competition is. And I think that's how people who are successful think, and that's how they work. Just about everybody that I've followed that is very successful, when they talk about their time, they do it. They have a similar blueprint when it comes to a calendar and following this daily task list and everything. So if you made it this far in the video and you enjoy this type of content, self-improvement, talking about being a father, about fitness, and about faith, everything, my life is, God is the most important thing in my life. And If you care about that type of content and you want to better yourself as a man, please like and subscribe to the video. And as always, God bless.